Head in shame.
Because I, Steph, is there any estimate of how many people in Gaza are actually unable to leave because of either age or disabilities?
I don't have any hard numbers. Our next guest may, but I can tell you is that the majority of people are unable to leave or choose not to leave, as they've been displaced over and over and over again. To seek safety in Gaza is impossible. And as we've also highlighted, the very high cost of transportation for families. Amélie.
Thanks, Steph. Brazilian officials have complained today that their delegation to high-level week next week have not received the visa from the US yet. I was wondering if you heard anything about that, and if you have any comment if the US are imposing visa restriction as well to other countries.
I mean, we've seen, I've seen the press reports. Obviously, it's concerning. We hope that the visas will be delivered. As we've stressed here, in the case of another delegation, the Palestinian delegation, the headquarters agreement between the U.S. and the U.S. calls for the U.S., our host government, to facilitate the travel to the United States of people having business in front of this organization. Benno, and then Michelle.
Thank you, Steph. German outlet Der Spiegel and the British Guardian and others published last week a comprehensive research about snipers of the Israeli army. This research lays out that these snipers allegedly killed unarmed Palestinians in Gaza and some Palestinians who wanted to help others who were shot already. Did you see these articles? Do you have a
I mean, I read the article. I saw the pictures, the X-ray pictures that were posted, which makes for harrowing reading. I think this is just another reason why there will need to be accountability, and there needs to be accountability for all the violations that we've seen in Gaza.
If it proves to be true that Israeli snipers killed unarmed civilians, would that amount to a war crime?
Look, what I can tell you is that the killing of civilians and the targeting of civilians, including children, is obviously against international humanitarian law.
You called for accountability. Does that mean you call for an investigation in this matter?
Yes, we do. And there are, I mean, as we've said here repeatedly, Benno, there are various mechanisms through which accountability can be had.
Sorry, please.
Please, thank you. Can be had. What is important is that the Israeli authorities cooperate with those mechanisms, which has yet to be the case.
Last one on this. One of the snipers is a German citizen. Do you also call on the German authorities to conduct accountability or conduct an investigation?
Everyone who is involved in what has happened in Gaza will need to look at their conduct. Abdelhamid. Oh, pardon, Michelle. Sorry, she's such a wallflower.
Thanks.
Yeah. That was a compliment. Yeah.
Just to follow up on Amelie's question, have any other countries told the UN they're having issues with visas?
I haven't gotten an update from our legal office this morning. I will check if they have formally complained to us. But as I said, we've seen the press reports. There's still time between now and the general debate, so we do hope the visas will come through.
But also other countries?
Yeah, I will check.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Okay. And then has a meeting been locked in between the Secretary General and President Trump for next week?
We expect to have a bilateral on the first day, as the Secretary General and the U.S. President traditionally have. Abdelhamid.
Thank you, Steph. I have a couple of questions. First, today is the 710th day after the massacre started in Gaza. So again, I will keep reminding you that the number of days should be mentioned in your briefing. So there's 425 died of famine, including 145 children. And I don't see also, you don't shed light on people who died out of hunger.
I mentioned, Abdelhamid, with all due respect, this is what I read out to all of you. I read out the number of people who had died of hunger, and I specifically cited the number of children who had died of hunger. So what is your question?
My question is, when you mentioned that the UNRWA buildings had been attacked, 10 of them, 7 schools and 2 clinics, does that make a war crime? Clearly, and not like what Ms. Baerbock said. Yeah.
Hitting UN premises, which are well known to everyone, which are being used as shelters, goes against international humanitarian law.
But you can't classify it as a war crime.
Judicial authorities will have to make that determination. Yes, sir.
On a less serious matter.
Your microphone, please, because your microphone is a serious matter.
Yes. Thank you, Stefan. On a less serious matter, you've probably seen the reports about the postcard that was delivered 72 years later from here, from the United Nations. What does that say to you? It took 72 years for a letter to be delivered.
Well, I'm probably still waiting for some mail, but I had not seen that story, so I'm happy to look into it. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Steph. Chinese officials said China and the United States have concluded.
1 second. Please, go ahead.
China and the United States have concluded a 2-day talks in the 3-point target issues. And the US has said the two sides have reached a comprehensive agreement on TikTok. Does the SG has it comments on the talk?
Look, I'm not going to have a comment on the substance of the talk, but I can tell you we welcome and we encourage high-level dialogue between the world's 2 biggest economies, because their economic relationship has an impact on the global economy. Okay. Deji.
Yeah. First, a clarification. When you mentioned about the visa issue, has the Palestinian delegation complained or not to the UN?
We've been in touch with them, yes.
I mean, they have already.
Well, we've been in touch with them, and we've raised their issue directly on the Palestinian issue in a number of meetings with the U.S. government.
What reaction? What response did you guys get?
You would have to speak to the U.S.
Okay.
Okay. Alex, and then Colin.
Thanks, Steph. Just a quick follow-up on Michelle's question. So you're expecting that the Secretary General will meet President Trump during the high-level week, right?
That is correct.
All right, thank you.
Colin, and then. It's been so long, Colin. I know.
Hi. So are there, you mentioned the question about the Palestinian delegation. Are there other delegations that you have that raised concerns?
No, as I said, I'm not aware of any other delegations that have raised concerns directly to us. I will check after this briefing. My answer to Amélie is that I'd seen the press reports on that. Okay. Yes, sir. 1 second.
Thank you, Seth. Just I want to come back to the meeting between the Secretary General and President Trump. Can you share with us what are the topics that will be raised during this meeting?
Issues of mutual concern? Sinan.
Other than that?
That covers quite a bit, trust me. Sinan.
Thank you, Steph. As you know, the Syrian president, interim president, is coming to UN next, I think, during the UNGA.
Yeah.
So I wonder if he's going to meet with Secretary General, like one-to-one.
I have no doubt that, I don't have a confirmation because we don't have all the bilaterals yet, but I'm sure if one is requested, one will be granted. Pam.
Any sense, ballpark figure of how many heads of state and government the SG will meet with on a bilateral basis?
No, but we should have that before the week is over. Michelle, Beno, and Abdelhamid, then we'll go to our guest.
Just a question on security for the GA next week. Obviously, we know it's very, very tight anyway, but just in the wake of recent events in the United States, are there any plans to tighten security in any way?
I mean, the security within the UN complex is during the J is as tight as it can be. We are obviously in close contact with the host country authorities, Secret Service, State Department, and of course the NYPD. They will take the measures they need to take outside. I do expect a press briefing, I think Thursday morning outside the gates. That'll include UN security, Secret Service, NYPD, State Department, and others. We'll confirm that. What? A press briefing. So if you consider yourself part of the press, you would be welcome. I know. Benno.
The bilat between Mr. Guterres and Mr. Trump, would it be the first time they speak to each other since Trump was sworn in?
It would be the first official bilateral, yeah. I mean,
and there's no
phone. There was no phone call, as you know. I think they've exchanged words in different settings at summits. I mean, exchanged words in the most diplomatic and polite way.
Like, you mean
they've greeted each other? I'm saying.
Were they texting?
Abdelhamid.
Thank you, Steph, again. If Prime Minister Netanyahu comes to the UN headquarters and wanted to meet with the Secretary, would the Secretary meet with a war criminal?
As you know, there is a standard operating policy in the agreement between the International Criminal Court and the United Nations Secretariat that allows senior UN officials to meet with people who may be indicted if it is in the furtherance of operational needs. If such a bilateral is scheduled, I will let you know. Chris.
Just on the visa issue, Steph, are you having to discuss any contingency plans should more countries be denied their visas to attend?
I think those are discussion. I mean, in terms of, let me be clear. There is no discussion that I've heard or seen about moving, right? We had this issue of misinformation last week. In terms of contingency plans of people being speaking via video, those are decisions that have to be made by the General Assembly membership. Okay. Yes, please.
Nepal has a new prime minister, as you may be aware now. Has the Secretary General been in touch with her, or will she be expected?
No, not yet. But we obviously welcome her appointment, and the UN stands ready to assist Nepal in this transitional and challenging moment. Pam.
Just to follow up on security. Do you expect that diplomats will have to go through metal detectors this year within the building?
I don't know. Last question in the back, please.
Does the SG have any comments on the adoption of the report on GA revitalization work? It was adopted September 5. Any comment on it? There's been, experts have said it's low on transparency and inclusion. Does the SG have any comment on that?
Far be it from the Secretary General to opine on General Assembly resolution. I mean, it's the work of the revitalization is important. I think that resolution, just more on a personal note, I think carries a lot of interesting information about the selection of the next Secretary General. Okay. Mr. Fletcher is happy to wait another half hour.
Yeah. Thank you, Steph. Real quick, will the SG meet with Mr. Trump before the opening of the general debate? Will that bilateral?
No, the bilateral traditionally happens in the morning of the 11th once they've both done addressing. Mr. Fletcher, no more hiding.